Most people think never getting angry makes them strong. Not true. Hiding irritation isn't strength, it's pretending. Real strength is feeling every emotion, even the tough ones, and choosing how to respond. True power isn't feeling nothing. It's staying in control no matter what people say or do. I, Napoleon Hill, have learned that real mastery is not in avoiding anger, but in refusing to let it rule. When you choose calm over chaos, control over reaction, you rise above every insult and challenge. True power is unshakable composure, built from within, untouched by others' storms. 1. Anger is not power. Many believe anger shows strength, but it actually exposes weakness. The moment fury takes over, you hand control to your emotions. Your voice rises, your thoughts scatter, and your presence shrinks in the eyes of others. They see not a powerful person, but one unable to master themselves. Real strength is the ability to stay calm when provoked, to respond with control instead of impulse. Like a great oak tree rooted deep in the earth, you remain steady while the storm rages. Your composure becomes your anchor, proving that true power is unshakable calm, not the noise of rage. Why does this matter so much? Because when you control your emotions, you control the situation. Anger is like a fire that burns everything it touches, including the one who holds it. It clouds your judgment, making you say things you later regret. It ruins golden opportunities that might never come again. It damages relationships that took years to build, sometimes beyond repair. But calmness works like clear water. It allows you to see through to the bottom of any problem. When your mind is still, you can think clearly, speak wisely, and act with purpose. People trust those who remain steady in troubled times. They turn to such people for guidance and leadership. How can you build this strength? Start by pausing before you react to anything that stirs your anger. When someone speaks harsh words to you, do not answer immediately. Take a slow, deep breath. Let the first wave of feeling pass over you like water over a rock. Then choose your words with great care as a craftsman selects his finest tools. Remember this important truth. No one can force you to be angry. You hold the key to that door. Others may try to push you toward rage, but you decide whether to open that door or keep it locked. When you realize this, you become truly free. Andrew Carnegie was known for maintaining a calm, composed temperament, no matter the circumstances. He refused to let criticism, insults, or opposition provoke him into anger. Carnegie believed that losing one's temper wasted valuable energy that could be better invested in constructive thought and purposeful action. When confronted with personal attacks or challenges, he would pause, reflect, and respond with measured words rather than impulsive reactions. This self-control not only preserved his mental clarity, but also enhanced his ability to influence others and make sound decisions. By never letting emotions cloud his judgment, Carnegie turned potential conflicts into opportunities for progress. This is the reward of refusing to let others decide your mood. Your calmness becomes like armor that protects you from the arrows of harsh words and unfair treatment. People respect this strength because they know how hard it is to achieve. They see someone who has mastered himself, and they want to learn from such a person. True power is not in the loudest voice or the angriest response. It lives in the quiet strength of those who choose peace over war, wisdom over fury, and control over chaos. 2. Criticism is not truth. Many people believe that when someone criticizes them, it must mean the critic is right. They bow their heads, accept every harsh word, and let doubt creep into their hearts. But this is a dangerous mistake that can destroy a person's spirit over time. The truth is that criticism often says far more about the person giving it than about you. When people speak against your efforts, they usually speak from their own shadows, their fears, their jealousy, or their misunderstandings. A person who has never tried to build anything will freely tell a builder that his house is crooked. Someone who has never dared to dream will mock another's vision as foolish. Think of it this way. If a blind man tells you the sunset is ugly, does that make it true? His words come from his inability to see, not from any flaw in the sky's beauty. So it is with much of the criticism you will face in life. Why does understanding this matter so deeply? Because if you absorb every hurtful word like a sponge soaks up water, you will spend your entire life chasing approval instead of pursuing your true purpose. You will become like a leaf blown by every wind, never staying on one path long enough to reach your destination. When you let every voice guide your steps, you stop listening to the most important voice of all, your own inner wisdom. You begin to doubt gifts that others would give anything to possess. You abandon dreams that could have changed not just your life, but the lives of many others. How should you handle criticism when it comes your way? First, listen calmly without letting anger or hurt cloud your judgment. Take a step back and examine the words like a jeweler examines stones. Some criticism contains real gems of truth that can help you grow stronger and wiser. These pieces you should keep and treasure. But much of what people say is just rough stone mixed with dirt. Separate the facts from mere opinions. Ask yourself, does this person truly understand what I am trying to accomplish? Have they walked this path themselves? Are their words meant to help me improve, or do they spring from some other motive? Keep only what helps you grow. The rest, let it fall away like autumn leaves from a tree. Do not carry the weight of every thoughtless comment or bitter remark. Your shoulders were not made to bear such burdens. Picture this scene. A young craftsman brings his wooden sculptures to the town fair, hoping to earn a few coins and perhaps some encouragement. He has worked for months, carving each piece with great care and love. One wealthy merchant stops, glances quickly at the work, and laughs loudly. "This is worthless," he declares. "No one would pay good money for such rough carvings." The craftsman's heart sinks, and he considers packing up his work and going home. But then a simple farmer approaches. He picks up one of the sculptures, a small bird with outstretched wings. His weathered face lights up with joy. "This reminds me of the sparrows that nest in my barn each spring," he says. He pays the asking price gladly and carries the carving home, where it sits on his table for 20 years, bringing him happiness each morning. Whose opinion was the true one? Neither completely. The merchant saw only what he expected to see, rough work from an unknown maker. The farmer saw beauty and meaning. But what mattered most was that the craftsman kept working, kept learning, kept improving his skill with each passing day. When you stop letting every voice sway your direction, something powerful happens. Your focus becomes sharp like a blade. Your confidence grows deep like the roots of an ancient tree. Your work begins to speak louder than anyone's judgment ever could. The greatest proof of inner strength is moving forward without carrying the weight of every word that has been spoken against you. 3. Offense is a choice. From childhood, we are taught that when someone speaks rudely to us, we must be offended. We learn to react like wounded animals, striking back with our own harsh words. Society tells us this is natural, even expected. But this teaching chains us to the moods and actions of others, making us prisoners of their behavior. The truth is far more liberating. Offense is not automatic. It is a choice, like deciding to open a door or leave it closed. Words are just sounds that travel through the air. They carry only the power we decide to give them. A cruel remark is like a stone thrown at you. You can catch it and carry it with you, letting its weight burden your steps, or you can let it fall harmlessly to the ground. This understanding matters more than gold or silver because it gives you something precious beyond measure, control over your own peace of mind. When you realize that you can choose not to be offended, you become like a fortress that cannot be conquered. No enemy can reach your inner sanctuary. No stranger can steal your joy with a few careless words. Most people hand over the keys to their happiness without even knowing it. They let a rude shopkeeper ruin their morning, or allow a harsh comment from a neighbor to spoil their entire day. They become like boats tossed about by every wave, never finding steady waters. But you can choose a different path. You can decide ahead of time that your worth as a person is not on trial with every remark someone makes. Your value does not rise or fall based on the opinions of those who barely know you. You are not a defendant in a court where every passerby serves as judge. How do you build this strength? Start by understanding that when people speak with cruelty, they usually reveal their own pain, not your flaws. A happy person rarely seeks to wound others with words. Those who attack with insults are often fighting battles within themselves that have nothing to do with you. Picture this scene. A traveler walks along a dusty road, heading toward a distant city where he hopes to start a new life. His heart is full of dreams, and his steps are light with purpose. Suddenly, from across the way, another man shouts an insult, calling him foolish for making such a journey. The traveler has a choice. He could stop, shout back, and spend precious time arguing with a stranger. He could let the words poison his mood and make him doubt his plans. Or he could simply smile, nod politely, and continue walking toward his destination. The wise traveler chooses the second path. He keeps his steady pace, his heart still light, his dreams intact. The words fall behind him like dust from his footsteps. He knows that the angry man's opinion cannot change the road he walks or the goal he seeks. Days later, something remarkable has happened. The traveler has reached his destination and begun building his new life. But the angry man still stands by that same road, still thinking about their brief encounter, still carrying the poison of his own bitter words. This is the power of refusing to carry insults with you. When you choose not to be offended, you stay free to focus on what truly matters: your journey, your growth, your purpose. You do not become weighed down by the baggage that others try to force upon you. Life is far too short and precious to hand strangers the keys to your peace of mind. Every moment you spend upset over someone else's rudeness is a moment stolen from your own happiness. Every hour you waste thinking about cruel words is an hour you could have spent building something beautiful. Keep walking your path. Let others keep their noise. Your destination awaits, and it will not be reached by those who stop to argue with every voice along the way. 4. Patience wins every battle. Some people believe that quick, heated reactions show confidence and strength. They think that striking back immediately proves they cannot be pushed around. But this belief leads them down a path of broken relationships, missed opportunities, and endless regret. The wise know a different truth. Patience wins far more battles than impatience ever will. What is patience in these moments of conflict? It is not the weak surrender of someone too afraid to act. Rather, it is the steady, unshaken choice to act only when it serves your true purpose. It is the strength to hold back when every fiber of your being wants to lash out. It is the wisdom to wait when others rush forward like fools. This matters more than most people understand, because rash actions create wounds that never fully heal. When you speak in anger, you cannot take back those words. When you act in haste, you cannot undo those deeds. But patience gives you something precious: clarity. It allows you to see situations as they really are, not as they appear through the red fog of emotion. The impatient person is like a soldier who charges into battle without knowing where the enemy stands or what weapons they carry. He may feel brave in the moment, but he often finds himself surrounded, outmatched, and defeated. The patient person studies the field first, understands the terrain, and chooses the perfect moment to strike. His victory comes not from fury, but from wisdom. How can you build this strength? When someone provokes you, when they speak harsh words, treat you unfairly, or try to draw you into conflict, step back like a master craftsman examining his work. Do not react in that first burning moment. Let time pass like water flowing over stones. Often you will discover that the situation looks completely different after a few hours or days have passed. Picture two fishermen standing by the same river at dawn. The first is eager and impatient. He sees a small ripple on the water's surface and immediately throws his net, hoping to catch something. Then another ripple appears, and he casts again. Soon he is throwing his net at every shadow, every leaf that falls, every bird that dips toward the water. By midday, this fisherman has caught very little. His net is torn from all the hurried casting. His arms are tired, his spirit frustrated. He returns home with empty hands and a heavy heart, wondering why the fish seem to avoid him. The second fisherman takes a different approach. He sits quietly by the water's edge, watching and learning. He studies how the current flows, where the fish like to gather, what time they come to feed. He notices the patterns that the impatient man missed in his hurry. When this patient fisherman finally casts his net, he does so with purpose and precision. He chooses the perfect spot at the perfect moment. His net comes back full of silver fish that gleam in the sunlight. He returns home with enough to feed his family and some to trade at the market. The difference between these two men is not luck or skill with the net. It is patience, the wisdom to wait, watch, and act only when the time is right. In life, when someone tries to provoke you into anger or draw you into unnecessary conflict, you face the same choice as these fishermen. You can react immediately to every slight, every insult, every challenge. You can throw yourself into arguments and revenge schemes that leave you exhausted and empty-handed. Or you can wait. You can step back and let time reveal the truth of the situation. Often, you will discover that the person who seemed like your enemy was simply having a bad day. The situation that appeared urgent was actually quite small. The battle you thought you needed to fight was really just a test of your self-control. Patience is not weakness, it is strategy of the highest kind. It separates the wise from the foolish, the strong from the merely loud. 5. Pride does not protect you. People often say, "I cannot let them disrespect me," as if their honor hangs by a thread that any stranger can cut with a few sharp words. They believe that defending their pride with anger shows strength and courage, but this thinking leads them into countless battles that cost far more than the original insult ever could. The truth that wise men have known for ages is this: true dignity cannot be touched by the words or actions of others. It lives deep within you, like a flame that burns regardless of the storms raging outside. No person can steal it, diminish it, or destroy it unless you hand it over willingly by losing control of yourself. This understanding matters because the moment you decide to fight every slight, every rude comment, every perceived disrespect, you begin living at the mercy of others' opinions. You become like a puppet dancing to strings pulled by strangers. Your peace, your time, your energy all become hostage to whatever anyone chooses to say about you. Think of it this way. If your worth as a person could truly be damaged by insults, then you would be in constant danger from every fool who opens his mouth. But your real value comes from your character, your actions, your integrity, things that no enemy can touch with words alone. How do you rise above this trap? You must learn to hold yourself to your own standard, not to the standard others try to force upon you. You must become like a mountain that does not move when small creatures scurry around its base, making noise and throwing pebbles at its mighty walls. Picture this scene. In a small village lives an elder known for his wisdom and kindness. He has spent decades helping his neighbors, settling disputes, and offering guidance to those in need. His reputation is built on years of steady, good work. One day, a young man arrives in the village, proud, loud, and eager to make a name for himself. He sees the respect others show the elder and feels jealous. In the marketplace, before a crowd of people, he begins mocking the old man, calling him slow, outdated, and useless. The elder faces a choice. He could defend himself with angry words. He could list his accomplishments and put the young man in his place. He could turn the crowd against this newcomer who dares to challenge him. Instead, the elder does something that surprises everyone. He looks at the young man with calm eyes, nods politely, and walks away with his head held high. Some in the crowd whisper that perhaps the elder has grown weak. Others wonder if the young man's words contain some truth. But time reveals the wisdom of the elder's choice. Years pass, and the young man's loud boasts prove hollow. His promises turn to dust, his schemes fail, and his arrogance drives people away. Meanwhile, the elder continues his quiet work, helping where he can, speaking truth when needed, living by the same principles that have always guided him. Eventually, the young man finds himself in trouble. His plans have collapsed, his friends have abandoned him, and he needs wise counsel. Where does he go? To the very elder he once mocked. He arrives with shame in his heart, asking for forgiveness and guidance. The elder welcomes him with kindness, offers the help he seeks, and never mentions the insults from years past. In that moment, the young man understands what true dignity looks like. The elder had lost nothing by walking away from that long-ago confrontation, but the young man had lost years of his life to foolish pride. This story shows a powerful truth. Pride built on calm confidence is far stronger than pride built on retaliation. When you know your own worth, you do not need to prove it to every person who questions it. When your reputation is built on consistent good actions, it cannot be destroyed by the angry words of those who know nothing about you. Let your actions speak for your character. Let your consistency over time protect your name. Your temper is a poor defender. It often causes more damage than the attacks it tries to fight off. Remember this: no one can drag you into the mud if you choose to stay on the high path. 6. Peace is a daily practice. Many people think peace is something you find once, like discovering a hidden treasure, then keep forever locked safely away. They believe that once they solve their problems, fix their relationships, or reach their goals, they will finally have lasting peace. But this thinking leads to disappointment because it puts their inner calm at the mercy of an ever-changing world. The truth is far different and far more empowering. Peace is not a destination you reach, but a choice you make fresh each day, especially when life tests you hardest. It is like tending a fire that must be fed with attention and care, or it will die out when the cold winds blow. This understanding changes everything, because if peace depended on the behavior of others, you would lose it constantly. Your calm would vanish every time someone spoke rudely, every time plans went wrong, every time the world failed to meet your expectations. You would spend your life like a leaf blown by every changing wind, never finding solid ground to stand upon. But when you realize that peace comes from within, that it springs from your own choices rather than from outside circumstances, you discover a power that no one can take away. You become like a deep well that provides fresh water regardless of whether it rains or shines above. How do you build this daily practice of peace? You begin each morning with a simple but powerful decision. Nothing outside of you will control what happens inside of you today. This does not mean you become cold or uncaring. It means you choose your responses rather than letting your responses be chosen for you. Picture a wise gardener who has spent years cultivating a beautiful garden. He has planted flowers that bloom in different seasons, vegetables that feed his family, and herbs that heal their ailments. His garden is his pride and joy, the result of countless hours of patient work. One afternoon, dark clouds gather on the horizon. The wind picks up and the gardener can see a fierce storm approaching. He knows he cannot stop the storm. Such forces are beyond any person's control. But he does not stand helplessly watching his garden face destruction. Instead, he moves with calm purpose. He covers his tender plants with cloth to shield them from hail. He secures his tools so they will not become dangerous in the wind. He checks that his strongest plants have firm roots and good drainage. He does everything within his power to protect what he has built, then retreats to his house to wait. The storm comes with all its fury, wind howls, rain pours down, thunder shakes the ground. But the gardener remains calm inside his home, knowing he has done all he could do. When morning comes and the storm has passed, he walks out to find his garden damaged but not destroyed. Because of his preparation and care, most of his plants have survived. Within days, new growth appears, and the garden is more beautiful than before. This is exactly how you must approach the storms of life. Harsh words will come like lightning. Unfair treatment will fall like hail. Unexpected troubles will blow through like fierce winds. You cannot prevent these storms, but you can protect your inner garden, your peace of mind. Your job is to guard this sacred space within you. That means refusing to let the anger of others uproot your calm. It means not allowing disappointment to flood the soil where your hope grows. It means keeping your sense of purpose firmly planted, even when circumstances try to tear it away. Each day, you must tend to this inner garden. Some days the work feels easy, like watering flowers on a gentle morning. Other days feel harder, like replanting after a storm has passed. But every day requires attention. Every day requires choice. Over time, something remarkable happens to those who practice this daily peace. They notice that fewer things shake them deeply. More troubles flow past them without leaving lasting damage. They become like ancient trees with roots so deep that surface storms cannot topple them. That is the true strength that peace gives you, not the absence of storms, but the ability to remain standing when they come. 7. Resilience over reaction. People think resilience is only about pushing through hardship, gritting your teeth, bearing pain, and fighting your way through difficult times. They picture it as pure endurance, like a warrior who takes blow after blow but refuses to fall. While this kind of strength has its place, it tells only half the story of what true resilience means. Real resilience also means having the wisdom to refuse wasting your precious energy on needless conflicts. It means knowing the difference between battles worth fighting and distractions that only drain your power. The strongest people are not those who engage every challenger, but those who choose their battles so carefully that they have strength left for what truly matters. This understanding can change your entire life because every time you react in anger to small provocations, you drain strength that could have been used to build your future. Every hour spent arguing with fools is an hour stolen from your dreams. Every burst of rage over petty matters is energy that will not be there when you face challenges that actually deserve your attention. Think of your energy as water in a well. You can pour it out freely on every small irritation that crosses your path, leaving yourself dry when drought comes. Or you can guard it carefully, using it only for the crops that will feed your family and the gardens that will bloom for years to come. How do you live with this kind of wisdom? When challenges arise, and they always will, focus your mind on your next step forward, not on the noise and chaos swirling around you. Ask yourself, will responding to this help me reach my goal, or will it simply make me feel better for a moment while costing me precious time and energy? Picture a skilled mason who has been hired to build a stone wall around a great estate. He arrives each morning with his tools and begins his careful work. Each stone must be chosen, shaped, and placed with precision. The work requires all his attention and skill. As he works, a group of children from the nearby village discover him. At first, they simply watch with curiosity. But soon, growing bored, they begin throwing small pebbles at him and shouting rude comments. They think it is great fun to see if they can make the serious man lose his temper. The mason faces a choice that will determine not just his day, but the success of his entire project. He could drop his tools, chase after the children, and spend his morning arguing with them and their parents. He could shout back at them, throw stones of his own, and prove that he will not be disrespected. But this wise mason understands something the children do not. He has important work to complete. Instead of giving them the reaction they seek, he simply adjusts his hat, picks up another stone, and continues laying his wall with the same steady rhythm he has maintained all morning. The children grow tired of their game when they realize they cannot disturb his focus. They wander off to find other entertainment, their pebbles forgotten in the grass. Meanwhile, the mason continues his work, brick by brick, row by row. Months later, when the wall stands complete, strong, beautiful, and built to last for generations, where are those children? They have long forgotten the mason and moved on to other games and other interests. But his work remains, a testament to the power of focused effort and patient endurance. This story shows the choice that resilience offers you every single day. You can let distractions pull you off course, spending your energy on every person who tries to provoke you, or you can keep building steadily toward your goal until it stands complete. The strongest people are not those who win every small argument or respond to every challenge thrown their way. The strongest people are those who understand that true power lies in choosing where to spend their strength. They endure the major storms that life sends. Yes, but they also have the wisdom to ignore the petty winds that try to slow them down. Keep your energy for building the life you want, not for throwing stones back at everyone who throws them at you first. The wall you build with patient focus will stand long after the noise of your critics has faded into silence. 8. Self-belief silences noise. Many people believe that to feel secure and confident, everyone around them must agree with their choices and support their dreams. They seek approval like hungry beggars seeking bread, constantly looking to others for signs that they are on the right path. But this approach leaves them weak and dependent, forever at the mercy of changing opinions and shifting moods. The truth that sets people free is this: when you have genuine belief in yourself, the agreement of others becomes unnecessary. Their approval is nice when it comes, but you do not need it to move forward. Their criticism stings less because your worth is not built on their words, but on something far more solid, your own proven ability to keep faith with yourself. This power runs deeper than most people understand. When you truly trust yourself, outside opinions lose their sharp edge. They become like rain on a well-built roof. They may make noise, but they cannot reach you where you live. You stop dancing to the rhythm of other people's expectations and start moving to the steady beat of your own inner compass. How do you grow this precious strength? The secret lies in something simple but profound. Keep every promise you make to yourself, no matter how small it seems. If you say you will wake up early tomorrow, do it. If you promise yourself you will read for 30 minutes each evening, honor that commitment. If you decide to walk a certain distance each day, take those steps. These small acts of self-faithfulness are like drops of water that eventually fill a deep well. Each kept promise adds another stone to the foundation of your self-trust. Each followed through commitment proves to yourself that you are someone whose word can be trusted, even when that word is given to yourself alone. Picture a young man in a small village who dreams of becoming a great runner. Every morning before the sun rises, while others sleep warm in their beds, he puts on his simple shoes and runs through the empty streets. His route takes him past the well where early risers gather water, through the market square that will soon bustle with merchants, and along the dusty roads that lead to neighboring towns. The villagers notice his strange habit and begin to whisper among themselves. Some laugh, saying he is wasting his time running in circles when he could be learning a proper trade. Others shake their heads, calling him foolish for thinking he can achieve anything special when he comes from such humble beginnings. A few even mock him openly, asking why he bothers with such useless effort. But the young runner has made a promise to himself, and he keeps it day after day. Rain or shine, tired or energetic, encouraged or mocked, he laces up his shoes each morning and takes to the road. His belief in his own path grows stronger with each step, each sunrise, each kept commitment to his dream. Months pass in this way. The mockery continues, but it begins to sound different to his ears, more distant, less important. His focus stays fixed on his training, his improvement, his steady progress toward the goal he has set for himself. Then comes the day when news arrives of a great race to be held in a distant town, with prizes for the fastest runners. The young man enters, much to the amusement of his neighbors who gather to see him off, still chuckling about his chances. When he returns days later, everything has changed. He carries with him the prize of victory, not just the reward for winning the race, but something far more valuable, the unshakable knowledge that his belief in himself was justified. The villagers' laughter had not changed his training by even a single step. Their doubts had not weakened his legs or clouded his determination. This is what happens when you anchor your worth in your own effort rather than in the approval of others. The more faithfully you follow through on commitments to yourself, the stronger your self-belief becomes. Like a tree that grows deep roots, you become able to weather any storm of criticism or doubt. Soon you notice something remarkable. The voices around you begin to fade into background noise. You move through the world with a quiet confidence that nothing external can shake, because it springs from something internal that you have built with your own hands, one kept promise at a time. 9. Goals over grudges. Some people think holding a grudge shows strength and resolve. They believe that remembering every wrong done to them proves they cannot be taken advantage of or disrespected. They carry these bitter memories like armor, thinking it protects them from future harm. But this heavy armor becomes a prison that keeps them trapped in yesterday's pain, while life moves forward without them. The truth is that grudges do not make you strong, they keep you stuck. Like chains forged from your own anger, they tie your precious energy to events that are already over, people who may have forgotten you completely, and situations that cannot be changed. Meanwhile, your goals and dreams wait patiently for the attention and effort you waste on nursing old wounds. Why does this happen? Because grudges pull you backward into the past, while goals draw you forward into the future. You cannot walk in two directions at once. When your mind dwells on who wronged you and how you might get even, it cannot focus on who you want to become and what you want to build. The wise person learns to ask a simple but powerful question each time they feel wronged. Will holding on to this anger help my future success? Most often the honest answer is no. The energy spent plotting revenge could be spent learning new skills. The time used replaying old hurts could be used creating new opportunities. The mental space filled with resentment could be filled with plans and possibilities instead. Picture a master potter in his workshop, surrounded by shelves of beautiful vessels he has created over many years. Each piece tells a story of patience, skill, and careful attention to detail. His hands know exactly how to shape clay into forms that are both useful and beautiful. One morning he arrives at his workshop to find that one of his finest pots has cracked during the night. The piece represented days of work and was meant for an important customer. He feels a surge of anger and disappointment. Perhaps the clay was flawed, or maybe his assistant handled it carelessly, or the temperature in the workshop dropped too suddenly. Now he faces a choice that will determine not just his day, but his future. He can spend his morning staring at the cracked pot, turning it over in his hands, trying to figure out exactly what went wrong and who might be to blame. He can call his assistant and demand explanations. He can waste precious hours dwelling on this failure and feeding his frustration. Or he can set the broken pot aside, take fresh clay from his stores, and begin work on a new piece. His hands know their craft, his mind holds years of experience, and before him lies the chance to create something even more beautiful than what was lost. The wise potter chooses the second path. He acknowledges his disappointment, learns what he can from the failure, then turns his full attention to the clay before him. By evening, where once there was only a cracked pot and bitter feelings, there now stands a masterpiece that surpasses anything he has made before. This is the choice we all face when life cracks our plans and disappoints our hopes. We can keep staring at what went wrong, or we can begin shaping what comes next. Forgiving does not mean pretending the wrong never happened or that it was acceptable. It means deciding that your growth and progress matter more than your resentment and anger. It means choosing to invest your limited time and energy in building something worthwhile instead of feeding a wound that cannot nourish your future. When you put goals above grudges, something powerful happens. You take your power back. Instead of letting past hurts control your present choices, you become the master of your own direction. You stop being a victim of what others did and become the author of what you will do. Every moment spent nurturing a grudge is a moment stolen from your progress toward the life you actually want. Every hour used plotting revenge is an hour that could have moved you closer to your dreams. Choose your goals and let the grudges fade into the distance behind you like shadows that disappear when you walk toward the light. 10. Calmness attracts opportunity. People often believe that loudness and aggression are the keys to getting what they want in life. They think that raising their voice makes others listen, that pounding their fist on the table shows they mean business, and that intimidation opens doors that politeness cannot. But those who live by this belief often find themselves alone, surrounded by enemies instead of allies, with doors slamming shut rather than swinging open. The deeper truth is that calmness draws the right opportunities to you like honey draws bees. While aggression may force a door open once, calmness creates the trust that keeps doors open forever. And trust, not fear, is what builds lasting success in any field of human endeavor. Why does this work so powerfully? Because calm people inspire confidence in others. When someone remains steady under pressure, it signals that they can be trusted with important matters. When a person speaks with measured words instead of heated outbursts, others know they will get honest counsel rather than emotional reactions. When someone acts with steady hands even during crisis, people naturally turn to them for leadership. Trust is the currency that buys the most valuable things in life: partnerships that last decades, opportunities that change everything, respect that opens doors you never knew existed. Fear may force someone to do what you want today, but trust makes them want to work with you tomorrow and bring their friends along. How do you develop this magnetic power? Begin with your words. Speak with deliberate thought rather than quick anger. Choose each word like a craftsman selects his finest tools, understanding that what you say reveals who you are. When others raise their voices, lower yours. When they speak quickly and panic, speak slowly with purpose. Next, train your hands to move with steadiness. Whether you are writing a letter, handling money, or simply gesturing while you speak, let your movements show the same calm control that lives in your mind. Rushed, jerky movements betray inner turmoil, while smooth, deliberate actions project confidence and competence. Most importantly, keep your tone level even when others try to provoke you. This is perhaps the hardest skill to master, but it pays the greatest rewards. When someone challenges you with harsh words or unfair accusations, resist the urge to match their intensity. Instead, respond in the same calm voice you would use to discuss the weather. This unexpected steadiness often diffuses tension and earns you respect from everyone watching. Picture two traders working at a busy port where ships arrive daily with goods from distant lands. Both men have similar skills and knowledge of their trade, but they handle problems very differently. The first trader has a reputation for explosive anger. When shipments arrive late, he yells at the ship captains and dock workers. When goods are damaged, he curses and throws papers around his office. When customers complain, he argues loudly, determined to prove he is right. His voice can be heard across the harbor when things go wrong, which happens often in the unpredictable world of trade. The second trader faces the same delays, the same damaged goods, the same difficult customers, but when problems arise, he responds differently. He listens carefully to understand what went wrong, speaks calmly with all parties involved, and focuses his energy on finding solutions rather than assigning blame. When ships are delayed, he quietly arranges temporary storage. When goods are damaged, he works with both seller and buyer to reach a fair settlement. When customers complain, he listens with genuine attention and offers reasonable solutions. At first, both traders seem equally busy. But as months pass, a clear pattern emerges. Merchants begin choosing to work with the calm trader whenever possible. They know that problems will arise, they always do in trade, but they want to work with someone who will handle those problems without creating chaos. Ship captains prefer docking at his warehouse because they know they will be treated with respect, even when weather or pirates have delayed their voyage. Other traders seek partnerships with him because they trust his judgment and steady nerves. Gradually, the best opportunities flow toward the calm trader, while the angry one finds himself with fewer and fewer partners willing to endure his storms. In life, your calmness becomes a signal that tells the world who you really are. It announces that you can be trusted with responsibility, relied upon in crisis, and counted on to handle whatever challenges arise. That is when meaningful partnerships form, when unexpected chances appear, and when doors open to rooms you never knew existed.